Woo pig suey. I have no idea if that's the cadence, but the boys are headed to Arkansas. We are pumped. Fayetteville, here we come. Never been, heard good things. Excited to talk about it. We also have on today the boys from the podcast on the prairie, Jeremiah Hall and Brayden Willis. Number 9, number 27, H-backs for the University of Oklahoma football team. Good talk with them. Let's hop all into the pod, baby.
I gotta ask, is there a shirt under that shirt that you're gonna reveal later?
This is it. This is it. No, straight one shirt today. It's hot in this room. People don't know that.
Yeah, well, they do know it because I sweat so much.
Yeah, well, there's no need for undershirts in this room.
No.
This is what we're working with. As I just said, we are headed to Arkansas. Woo pig suey. We got to figure out the cadence of that. One of my favorite things, I don't even know if we talked about it on the podcast, but everywhere we go, just picking up the slogans and the sayings of wherever we're headed. Roll Tide, Boomer Sooner, Hook 'em, Go Bucks. That's a personal favorite. It's fun. So God knows Woo Pig Suey might be.
We're going to hear it a lot this week.
That might be my favorite. I know they have a whole chant I'm not going to attempt to do that now, but we'll learn the cadence. We'll come back next week, ready to roll. Arkansas, Fayetteville. We are in the office 7:30 at night on this Wednesday evening.
Mm-hmm.
We just got off the horn with Jeremiah Hall and Brayden Willis.
Yeah. Talk about learning phrases. We have to learn a lot of stuff before our trip. We're going to kind of figure it out on the fly as we usually do, but this is kind of the point in the season. We got lucky last week having a little bit of a home game. I still need to do laundry.
You're running out of time, brother.
Yeah, it's getting late. I got to do laundry, and then I don't even know if I have all the stuff I need. We'll figure it out later. It might be a late night.
You want good news or bad news?
I want good news.
Good news is we're about to hop right into the interview.
What's the bad news?
No appreciate yous because we're about to hop right into the interview.
No.
Yeah, I know it's a fan favorite. Sorry, no appreciate yous. This interview was fun. We've got, like I said, we got to pack. We got to do some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna hop in the interview. On the other side of the interview, we have our Power 5 for this week, which is what, Pat?
What is it, or what is the topics are?
The
it's
topics,
late, my brain.
Yes.
Things that happen after a win.
And then we're gonna go into our locks of the week. So we're gonna try to move along quickly because we got stuff to do. But this is a good pod. The interview is great, and we will see you in like 25 minutes.
Yeah,
or so.
see you then.
I don't really know how long. See ya. Welcome back to Still Eligible. Today we have on the podcast on the prairie, Jeremiah Hall and Brayden Willis, Oklahoma football players. Before we hop right into it, Jeremiah, I got to start with you. What the hell was the issue with the flag the other day, man?
Man, long story, guys. I'll just keep it short, though. So when I get the flag, right, I'm like, okay, I know I'm going to get the flag. This is my last year. I've seen Baker Mayfield do it. I've seen Obal Karanko do it. Now it's my turn. So I'm arguing with Brian Asamoah, our I think he's our starting linebacker, right? And I'm like, bro, I'm going to get it. He's like, nah, I'm going to get it. I'm like, bro, I'm a captain. I'm a senior. I'm pulling seniority over you. So I end up with the flag. And in the videos and in the pictures, right, I'm starting strong. I'm waving that thing around. I'm going all the way around the stadium. And it's looking good, man. I'm telling you, you can go back and see it. So I'm running around. I get a cramp. I hand the flag over to BA, right? So I'm like, all right, you can have a little bit of fame, okay? So I'm like, bro, I got to get the flag back, though. I got to plant this thing. So I go and get the flag. And here's the thing that was different about the Cotton Bowl this year, right? Fans stormed the field.
Right.
And when I finally got the flag back, I started hitting everybody that was near me, trying to take pictures and give hugs and all this type of stuff. And so I get so anxious about hitting people with the flag that by the time I get to the middle around my teammates, the flag is totally bundled together. And so I'm so anxious about everything that's going on around me, I forget to unravel the flag. So I get in the middle, I start waving that thing, man, and it didn't look good, bro.
I was front and center. My camera was overheating. It like does that on game days sometimes, and I was front and center, so I whip out my phone because I'm like, got to get to something. And we posted it, you retweeted it, I think, and you're just like, I was fighting it, man. You were struggling because it was all wrapped up, and it was funny. We were watching it. It looked good in slow mo. The video that Oklahoma football posted made you look made you look good.
That's the key. Put it in slow mo so no one sees how slow it actually was.
For sure, man. Shout out to our video people, man. They really did. They made up for my clumsiness there.
They make you look good.
Jack, I have to say that, we practice a lot of things, but apparently waving a flag and planting the flag is not one of them. So
you got to add that
we need to add that to the practice script or something,
Definitely.
Jeremiah wishes that Baker taught him how to plant a flag.
Oh my god. Yeah, I need flag planting lessons.
I just want to let you guys know we actually wanted to get that fox who ran on the field as our guest for this week, so that was our first choice. We're obviously happy to have you.
We couldn't track him down.
Yeah, me and Jack are actually Michigan and Ohio State fans. That's kind of how this podcast all came together, and just wanted to kind of ask you, with OU Texas, in our opinion, being the second best rivalry in college football, what are you guys feeling like right now? I know that's a loaded question, so you can let me have it if you. I think you feel that way, but what are you guys feeling right now? And what's it like to win such a big rivalry game?
I guess I'll start it off. Man, it's big time. I mean, a lot of people say it. That's one of the main reasons that a lot of people come to Oklahoma is to play in this game, and I know it especially means a lot for me, being from Texas. I mean, it means the world. Honestly, I'd rather not have anything else in the world. But at the same time, this is the week after, and we're kind of moving on, focusing on TCU. So that's kind of my mindset right now.
Yeah, kind of piggybacking off of what Brayden said. The win was great. I celebrated hard with my friends and everybody who was invested into the game. I was on a high on Sunday and even Monday, right? So, but like Brayden just said though, at the end, you just got to find a way to flip the switch and move on to the next, because you can be beaten in college football any given week. So we're glad we won, but at the same time, we got to keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, that was one hell of a game, and obviously we showed interest in it. Talk about, you guys have you played in that game a few times, and you're on the winning record most of it. But what does it mean to play at the Cotton Bowl? And I think the environment there it's unmatched. I mean, you guys score a touchdown and you guys are going crazy, and then the Texas side of the stadium's absolutely quiet, and vice versa. And we were at the Oklahoma West Virginia game a few weeks ago, and I'm not trying to throw shade by any means, but I feel like you guys were louder this past weekend with half a stadium than you were at home, and the fans showed up loud and proud, and it was electric to be in there.
Yeah, well, there's just something different about the OU Texas game. It's like every single play could be a game-changing play, and just the environment, the fans, it's like no other game in college football. It's the best rivalry game in college football, by the way.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah. But, nah, man, I think, honestly, this past Cotton Bowl was probably one for the ages for sure. It's definitely been the loudest one that I've been a part of.
Easily the loudest one ever. I mean, when our center, Andrew, said to me after the game, he said, man, I felt my chest rattling like in the third quarter when, our fans were going crazy. And I was like, man, me too. Like it was hectic over there. And then also, vice versa, when we're in a good game we had tied it up, and we're on the opposite side of the field, on the Texas side of the field, and we're trying to get calls and everything, and I literally cannot hear what Caleb is saying. I'm like, I got to scoot up, like, what did you just say? Oh, okay. So, I mean, yeah, it was a great atmosphere, though. And like you can't beat a Texas OU game, but at the same time, that game was a little bit different.
Yeah, it was definitely a little bit different. And you talk about having being amped up there in the third quarter. What was like, I guess, the halftime message? And you guys came out, I mean, crazy strong. You were down there going into half, and then, I mean, the whole second half was a whole new team. And were you guys worried at all? I mean, I'm sure you're not worried, but I mean that game started so quickly that I don't even know if you had time to realize, hey, we're down and we got to figure this out.
Yeah, I mean, we really weren't nervous at all. It's kind of weird. I mean, we've been in a couple of these, us being older guys. We've been in a Baylor comeback, a couple of years ago. And I told Jay Hall that it was a little bit weird because even this game compared to the Baylor game, we were more confident this game, going into halftime, coming out of halftime than we were in the Baylor game. We were completely calm, cool, collected, and everything like that. So it was definitely, the message was just basically do your job and go out there and win the game. There wasn't really anything special to it,
Yeah, basically same thing what Brayden said. It was almost as if the game was tied. Honestly, we didn't really feel any pressure to have to do anything superhuman-ish to go out there and make a game-changing play or anything like that. We just knew at the end of the day all we needed to do was do our job, and we went out there and executed it well. Coach Riley got us up and going. I actually missed the halftime speech because, man, y'all, my allergies, I don't know if you can tell, but my nose is a little bit stuffed up now. So at one point, I was in the locker room at halftime, and I was coughing so hard, I ended up having to throw up. And then when I was throwing up, my abs started cramping, and it was just a whole bad deal. So I missed the whole halftime speech, but I didn't really need one. I already felt motivated as an old head to go out there and make something happen for the team.
You think if you didn't have those allergies, you might have fully been able to hurdle that guy?
Actually, that might be something to think about. I'm not sure.
Yeah, missed the halftime speech and a kickoff return. Yeah. I'm over there freaking out because we have 10 guys on the field. I'm like, yo, where is Jay Hall at? I'm over there yelling to the sideline. The sideline's looking at me crazy. They're yelling. They're like, I don't know where Jay Hall is at, so we have to get Jay Summy in there. And yeah, and then we go back and we watch the film on Monday, and you can see Jay Hall running in as the ball is being kicked on film. It is the funniest thing ever.
So special teamer also. I learned about H-back U doing the research on you guys. Can you guys talk a little bit about that and what it feels like and taking pride in the position? Because it's not really a position that gets a lot of love, but you guys play it well.
Yeah, we're a dynamic playmaking mismatch position. That's what I call the H-backs. Those are the words I love to use simply because we line up everywhere, man. You've seen us in the slot. You'll see us at the number one receiver on the outside occasionally. Most of the time you'll see us in the wing position, maybe even in line, or you've seen me get the ball a few times. So that's what we do, man. We just go out there and make plays. It doesn't matter where we're lined up, and that's the attitude. The attitude you have to have as H-back is just be a gnarly team first type of guy. You're not going to have 8 receptions every game. Some games you may have 0. Some games you may go out there, ball, have 2 touchdowns and 150 yards. So that's what makes H-back so exciting. Every week, I think, honestly, besides the quarterbacks, we get the most information every single week in terms of new plays and stuff. We like to call ourselves the second quarterbacks on the field. So I love playing H-back, man. It's so fun.
Man, I think of our position as the grimy little kid at recess that comes back from, wallowing around in the mud and has holes in his jeans, man. That's how I think of us. Just a tough, grimy kid that's going to do whatever to win. You know what I'm saying? We do a little bit of everything, like Jay Hall said, and we take pride in that. And also, like Jay Hall said, we do have to know the most. Second, to the quarterback, because we have to know what the receivers do. We have to know what the running backs do, along with the O-line, does. So, it is it's an interesting position for sure. But, I mean, we love it, and we take pride in it. So,
Yeah, I love that. The grimy. That's just football, you know. You're playing. Playing the best position. I love it. So we were at, like you said, we were there for the West Virginia game a few weeks ago. We got to tour the facilities a little bit and check out what you guys got going over there. And I mean, it's just top of the line stuff everywhere, top to bottom. So what is that like being at Oklahoma? I mean, you guys coming in from high school or whatever, and I know those facilities are relatively new, but not everyone, our listeners or people around the country, know what it's like to be at a school like Oklahoma and have the resources that you guys have. And what does that mean to you guys?
It's top tier. Love it. I mean, coming in as a high schooler, what I had to do in my recruiting process was I had to kind of take myself away from the glitz and glamour of all the facilities and actually focus on what I thought was important, because it is real easy to get distracted by how great our facilities are. I mean, the first thing I walk into when I came from my one of my visits was guys running 40s in our indoor weight room on the turf with the lasers that pop out of the ground. It's like, it's so crazy. Like everywhere doesn't have stuff like that. So, but I mean, we appreciate it, and we definitely don't take advantage of it. We work hard. We use it to the best of our abilities, and it pays off for us on the field. So.
Yeah, I'm for sure grateful for our facilities, man. I come from a place where, man, our practice field was a lot of dirt sometimes at some point, man. If somebody didn't take care of it, if it rained and we got bad weather, I'm from the East Coast. If there was a hurricane or anything that came by, our fields were done. We would be out there in mud. I remember actually my freshman year, we go out there for practice, and I remember looking at the grass, and I actually touched it. I'm like, man, like this is so smooth. Like the entire field is even. Like there are no hills, there are no holes. Like this is nice enough to play a game on. Yeah. And man, that was 5 years ago, but boy, do I remember it like I was yesterday. I still weighed 215, and I didn't know what I was out there doing, but I do remember that day. So I'm grateful for everything that we have here at Oklahoma.
I also miss the days when I weighed 215. This traveling on the road is getting to me, guys. So I don't have access to those kind of facilities. I wish I did, but doing my best. So I'm curious to talk about the podcast on the prairie, your guys' podcast. How do you guys find time to do it, first of all? And second of all, what's that been like kind of during this time with the new NIL rules and kind of this changing landscape?
It's been fun. It's evolved into something way bigger than what I ever thought it would grow to, man. I didn't have any expectations going into this thing. I just thought it would be a cool way for our audience to be able to hear what we're like. I didn't really care about the money at that point. I was just like, I enjoy talking. I enjoy answering questions, and I enjoy the attention as well. So it's been fun. I love what it's grown into. And to answer your question in terms of how we do it, honestly, man, we wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't for our producer, Alex. And we make sure to give him credit every single time we talk to anybody about our podcast, because he makes it so easy for us, man. He chops up the video. He gives us speaking topics. He watches so much football, man. Like, honestly, I wouldn't be able to watch as much football as he does, because not only does he have us, but he has 2 other teams as well. So he gives us talking points. He watches our games. He does all the edits, the pictures, the cut-ups. All we have to do is show up for about an hour, some change, and talk, So we are what people see on social media, but our guy Alex is who we appreciate, though.
I was saying, where'd the name come from?
Oh man, the name. Okay, so I was trying to figure out what we were gonna call this thing. I'm not super creative, man. Before.
You're good.
Oh, that's Brayden's dog. Yeah. Oh, in fact, he's trying to get rid of that thing actually. But the name, man. Our Alex hit me up. He was like, "Yo, what do you want to call it?" And he gave me like 2 or 3 days, man, and I had nothing at all. And so one day I look at our Twitter page. He sends me the link. I look at the Instagram page, and it says Podcast on the Prairie. And I was like, Alex, you genius. Oh, my gosh. It doesn't get any better, bro. I was like, is this really us? Like, did we really? Nobody else has this name. Like, you would think that somebody took the name. So simple, but I'm glad we got it because I honestly think it's probably one of the best podcast names out there.
Yeah, I gotta tell the story of our name origin real quick. We had a text thread, and Jack was flying back from somewhere, and there was like 100 names in this text thread. And I think I just looked in it and I was like, still eligible. That's a solid one. And we were not even thinking about it. And then we came back to it and we were like, that's actually like a really solid one in terms of college sports and play on eligibility. And we still don't 100% know what it means, I feel like, but it works.
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple beers in me pre-flight, so the creativity was flowing, for lack of a better term, and I was just spewing stuff out. But I
like it.
It's good for what it's worth.
I like it.
Brayden, I know you grew up just down the road from TCU. How excited are you for this Saturday?
Oh man, I'm very excited. This game every year means a lot to me, and I would say it means a little bit more to me this year, especially counting the fact that I didn't play last year. I was injured during the time when we played TCU. Especially that game was at TCU, so that really sucked. I was gonna try to get 15 tickets or whatever the case would be, get all my family there or whatever. But nah, I'm extremely excited. I got some family coming down. It's gonna be a good time. I can't wait. It's gonna be fun.
For both of you guys, I guess, what is it like playing for Lincoln Riley? I mean, everyone, you look at coaches across the country and you think of Saban and Dabo, Coach Day, whoever it might be, but Lincoln's up there. I mean, you guys are obviously a top team every year, and it looks like he's an offensive genius and just a fun guy to be around.
Yeah, he definitely keeps it interesting, man. As you can see, the trick play I had this past Texas game, that was fun. Yeah. Those are one of many examples. I can recall another trick play I had last year versus Oklahoma State. I don't know if you guys can recall that one, but just in terms of his offensive mind, man, there are some plays that we have that you sit back and watch, and you're like, how does somebody think of that? There's one play we have, Brayden knows, this play called Fork. We can't really tell you guys the play, but it works every single time. This play is like 11 for 13 on touchdowns. And
every single time.
Every single time. And so, man, he's just, I don't know. He's probably one of those Hall of Famer guys that are going to go down in history, especially when it comes to offense.
What's your mentality when Fork's called? You're like, let's get it?
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, but at the same time, we're not running it, so it's like, that's whatever.
We're not the ones scoring the ball, but when he calls it, it is like, all right, Tutty, here we go.
Then you start thinking about the celebration at that point, right?
Yeah, exactly. I do think about my celebrations pre-play. It does cross my mind, but obviously you got to execute the play first. You know what I'm saying?
I think we might have actually filmed you, maybe not doing touchdown celebrations, but we met you at the Big 12 Media Days. I know it's been a while since then. What would you tell us if we had told you at the time that you guys are going to be undefeated and you're going to beat Texas and you're at this point in the season? What do you think your reaction would be, and how do you think you would feel?
I already know it.
Yeah.
Honestly, bro, I probably would have looked you dead in the eyes and I would have said, as expected. Now let's go with the national championship.
Talking about celebrations, I want to hear both of your takes on Marvin's celebration there at the end.
Oh yeah, Brayden.
Oh man. Yeah. So I was, obviously I'm on the field. I see the whole thing. I have the perfect angle. I'm right on the sideline. From right on the sideline for where he caught the ball, and I could see his feet in bounds and him in the end zone. So I'm like, okay, I'm running full speed. Like, he gets up and he's looking at the ref, and he's like, am I in? And I'm like, no, you're in. Like, you're good. And so I picked him up. That was the first thing I thought about. Like, I'll pick him up, and I mean, it wasn't playing. He just started doing this running motion, and we joked around about it after the game when we went into treatment the next day. guys were asking Marv, like, bro, what were you doing? And he was like, I really couldn't do anything else. He was holding me. And so then I was like, well, I was holding you because you're super fast. And I knew you were going to take off running down the other sideline, and none of us can catch you to celebrate. So I had to celebrate with you somehow. So that's kind of how it happened. So
I love it.
I didn't even know what happened until after the game, and I'm scrolling through Twitter, and I'm like, what? What is this? I didn't know it was Brayden that was holding him.
That's the way to ensure you get in the picture, though, is you just hold them up, and then you're.
Well, you'd think I was right there. I was in the corner of the end zone. I got a sweet shot of the catch, and then my lens is so it's for a football game and covering the whole field. My lens is so big that I couldn't even take a picture of it because you guys were so close to me, and I just took a second to just take it all in. I was sitting there watching. I was like, "This is I've never seen that before." It was a funny one for sure.
might have to recreate it. I don't know.
Well, hopefully, we'll be running into you guys again at the Big 12 championship game. Not to say that I'm a good luck charm, but you guys are 4-0 when I'm in attendance, so maybe we should give me season tickets or something like that.
Yeah, we got to get you to every game.
I know, right?
What's the deal with NIL for you guys? I mean, like you said, you got the podcast going, you got a little promo on there, but whether it's you or the team as a whole, we don't need to get into like specific deals and specific stuff, but obviously that wasn't a thing your first few years of college, and now it is. What's that like for you guys?
Well, for me, I've been here for life, pre-NIL and post-NIL. So when they announced it and said that it was going to be legal for us to use our name, I was excited simply because I wanted to see what opportunities that I could have. But at the same time, I'm not a quarterback with 300,000 followers or 500,000 followers. So I knew that I wasn't going to make any life-changing money off of it. So my mentality is accept it, enjoy it while it lasts, explore the opportunities that are available. But I try not to let it, control my life or distract me away from football because, like I said before, I'm not making any life-changing money. The money that is life-changing is at the next level, obviously. So that's kind of my mentality towards it. Enjoy it, but don't get too caught up.
Yeah, I have to kind of agree with Jay Hall said. Honestly, when the NIL thing came out, you guys, Jay Hall, I really wasn't even worried about it in a sense. Jay Hall knows I'm kind of a go with the flow type of guy. I just be in my own lane. Like I don't really even worry about stuff like that. So it really wasn't until Jay Hall, contacted me about the podcast that I even explored anything NIL related. I was like, like Jay Hall said, I'm not a quarterback with however many followers, so I felt like it wasn't really going to affect me in any type of way. Anyways, but I think it's a great opportunity for college kids. I mean, honestly, it should have been done a while ago, but I mean, I'm happy that I've got to see the change and I've got to be kind of a pioneer for this, change in college football. So
I will say I do want to see myself in NCAA. That would be cool.
That'd be sick.
We
love that.
Yeah, we need that back. I do think it's cool though because you say like you're not the superstar quarterback, but like from listening to your podcast, it's cool to see that perspective of like clearly you guys are seeing significant playing time, but also like you have maybe a slightly different perspective than maybe that kind of player. So I enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to, I guess, listening along for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
From one podcast to another, we are big fans over here. I think it's so sweet. I mean, there's so many different there's too many different podcasts, and people probably say that listen to our podcast, but you guys are so niche and so different, and the fact that you just go beat the shit out of Texas, and then less than 24 hours you guys are talking to each other and having fun or whatever. Like that's what's up. No, I love that.
Oh, I never thought of it like that. That's actually pretty funny. Go beat up on Texas and talk about it 24 hours later.
A quick turnaround.
It's got to be hard for them to listen to that after.
Like,
I'm pretty sure
absolutely.
Not a lot of Texas listeners, I'm sure. Mostly Oklahoma.
No, most definitely.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, we appreciate you having on. I appreciate having you guys on. Awesome time. Actually, one more thing. You guys are number 9 and number 27. That's my birthday. A little fun fact. I didn't realize that until I saw your graphic and the 9 little 27. I think it's 27-9, but we'll flip it for the sake of the story.
Yeah.
But
There you go.
A little fun fact for you. So,
Hey,
yeah.
that might be why you're good luck for us.
Hey,
There you
who would have
go.
thought
Exactly.
about it? Yeah.
There you go.
Well, the podcast on the prairie, Jeremiah Hall, Brayden Willis. Best of luck the rest of the season. We'll be following along. I think we both picked Oklahoma to make it to the Natty in our preseason picks. Not to put any pressure on you guys. We're rooting for you. We'll be following along. Hopefully see you back in Dallas in the Dome here in a few weeks. So keep crushing it, and we'll follow along.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, guys.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate. I knew y'all was smart, man. Though.
Yeah, smart guys. Anybody listening, like he said, make sure you guys tune in to the podcast on the prairie by Brayden and I.
Beautiful.
And where can people find it?
Thank you, guys.
Spotify, Apple Music,
Oh
everywhere?
yeah, it's everywhere. It's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you can get in touch with a podcast. It's there.
You want to plug your individual social handles
Yeah,
as well?
plug it
Twitter,
all. Plug it
Instagram,
all.
whatever you want to
Oh,
do.
okay.
Throw it out
Yeah.
there.
Both of mine, my Twitter and my Instagram is Jeremiah_Hall27.
Well, mine is a little bit more complex. My Twitter is bwillis_11, and then my Instagram is a little bit simpler. It's just Brayden_Willis. So
Easy. Well, we'll make
Easy.
sure to tag you guys and the podcast tomorrow, and we're happy to have you on, and best of luck along the way.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thanks, guys. Might be the favorite interview that
So
we've
far?
done so far.
I mean, that was 2v2. Nice little showdown. They could probably beat us in most things 2v2,
Yes.
but there
They
might
are
be
athletic.
something. I don't know what we could take them in. What do you think we could take them in?
You good at spike ball?
Not bad.
I mean, they'd be good at spike ball
Probably
too.
be
They're
good at
just
spike ball.
athletic freaks.
We're good at being older than them.
That's true.
We've seen way more stuff in our day.
Experience.
So that was our interview with the podcast on the Prairie Boys. Honestly, like, I didn't say that just like goes back to the food thing. I didn't say that because they were sitting across from us virtually. But their podcast is awesome. It's worth checking
Yeah.
out. It is awesome, the whole idea of it, and talking like immediately after the game. It's the next day. It's whatever. And they kind of do their weekend recap. It's very chill, very laid back. But it's cool. I don't think there's many people of anyone doing what they're doing. So it's worth checking out.
For
Podcast
sure.
on the Prairie. I can't spell prairie.
Yeah, it's been auto-corrected for me pretty much all day, but yeah, let's jump into the Power 5 list. So we do this once a week. We just pick a topic. We each choose 5 things. We do a snake draft. I definitely know what that is at this point. This week's topic is things that happen after a win. So
Yep.
I'm gonna go first,
Please.
since that's how a snake draft works. My number 1 is go to the bathroom.
I mean, that's a must.
If you're playing in a game, if you're at a game, you want to kind of catch the end of the game. There's not really a great time to go to the restroom. I guess halftime technically, but drinking lots of fluids, you might need to go again. End of the game, good time, especially after a win. I guess it's probably better that way.
There's the occasional basketball player that'll just randomly like run off the bench and run in the locker room
Yeah.
and use the restroom mid-game.
You get a lot of eyes on you when you do that, though, so it's better to do it at the end of the game.
Like Mike. They did that in Like Mike. Will Bow Wow. His first start, he wasn't wearing his shoes. Or first time he came in, he wasn't wearing his shoes. He's like, I got to use the restroom. He came back with his shoes on. So there you go. Use the bathroom. Did I think that was going to be number 1? Absolutely not. My first one is turn up. Celebrate with the boys. I mean, after a big win, what do you want to do? You want to party? You want to have a good time? You want to tear up the town? It is what it is. Turn up, number 1. Power 5. Things you do after a big win. Number 2. We saw this last week. We've seen it a few times. Storm the field. I think that's a must. There's nothing like a good field storm. I've stormed the field once. Normally we're on the field.
Yeah.
I've stormed the field once. Ohio State, Michigan, Curtis Samuel double overtime jump in the end zone. I didn't have tickets to that game. I wasn't in the game. Ran in the stadium after they made it into overtime. Came in and exit. I might be sharing too much. Came in and exit. Went into an exit, watched overtime, double overtime in the student section, and then stormed the field, and then took a picture and posted it and acted like I was there. Social media is not real.
You and the Fox from the Red River Showdown just finding a way to get in the stadium.
Yeah, I might have shared too much there, but storm the field, turn up, 1 and 2 for me.
Statute of limitations on that has passed, so you're good.
There we go.
It
was years ago.
Yeah,
I already worked there for 3 years afterwards.
You wouldn't have gotten the job if that was an issue. So
have you ever been to a game here?
You're fine.
Let me tell you about that.
My second one is post game handshake. Good sportsmanship.
Is this before or after the restroom?
Hopefully, before, but if it's after, hopefully washing the hands hopefully occurred. Yeah. Number 3 for me. I guess I don't know if this is in the best order, but I'll just go with it anyway. A Gatorade shower or an actual shower for the players.
Is that before or after using the restroom?
At this point, I don't even know.
That's fair. All right, so you've done your 3, right?
Yeah.
So my turn. I got 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think tweet about it. Tweet about it, tweet about it, tweet about it, Instagram about it, if that's what you're about. But tweet about it, rub it in other people's faces, other teams. You scored the game-winning TD, retweet it, share it. You're probably gaining followers. You're probably popping off. Love it. Tweet about it. Tweet about it, tweet about it, tweet about it. That was my next one. 4th one, which arguably should have been my first, is call my mom.
Yeah.
I mean, I love my mother. She's my biggest supporter. And, I mean, there's nothing like a call from mom to even if you won the big game and you crushed it, there's nothing like the validation from your mother knowing that you did well.
Or if you get the shot post athletic career.
Oh yes, get the shot.
Anything really.
There's nothing like a good mom pump up speech.
Yeah, I call my mom when we're driving. I didn't call her today, so should have done that.
You can call her on the way home.
Usually, well,
if she's awake,
she goes to bed pretty.
It's already 8:00 here.
Your mom is saved in your phone as my creator, which
is what it is.
It's always a fun fact.
It is what it is.
Moving along, number 4 for me is taking a picture with someone you vaguely knew in high school. This is a fun trend that you see. Obviously, some people will find someone that they played a sport with that they're close with, but I love the trend of I kind of knew you, but we're still going to take a picture for social media. And this happens, I feel like, beyond just sports. I feel like sometimes, even in our industry, I've taken pictures of people that I don't really know that well, but it's a fun little tradition.
There we go.
And then this is kind of similar to that one, just wrapping it up here. Congratulating someone who doesn't even know your name. I love when the bench players will shake Tom Brady's hand and be like, "Great game." And
you only get so many chances to shake Tom Brady's hand.
This is true. I just
hey man,
it's my
good
list.
game, bro.
It's my list.
Good game. All right, my last one is switch shirts.
Mm-hmm.
If you lost, this is probably not on if you won, but if you lost, switch shirts, because in that case you did win.
Yeah, this is very topical.
I've seen it firsthand, and switch shirts to the winning team. It's easy. It's an easy one. It's a good one. That's my Power 5 for things you do after a big win. A few I think I left off the list. I mean, you only have 5. Start watching film because I'm never satisfied. Sing the fight song. I mean, that's a tradition pretty much everywhere. Do the Juju Smith-Schuster and dance on the logo and just cry. A good cry, whether it's tears of joy or if you lost, sad tears. But, sports mean something to people. So a good cry. A few, what is that? 4 I left. That was Power 9, if you will.
That's a hefty list.
You're welcome. So that is our Power 5 for this week. We will post a little graphic on social media. You can tell me for the 3rd week in a row that mine was better than Pat's, and we can carry on with our lives.
You don't have to do that, though.
Locks of the week.
Yeah, so let's lock it in. First game, Auburn at Arkansas. I am taking Arkansas -4.5. Woo Pig Suey.
Woo Pig Suey.
I gotta support. I'm no longer doing the Bama pick. I'm no longer doing the Washington State pick. I gotta root for the.
Who likes Washington State?
Ian does. I'm rooting for the home team. Obviously Arkansas coming off that heartbreaking loss to Ole Miss. I think they come out hot. I'm excited to see the Sam Pittman show in person.
I love it. Woo Pig Suey, baby. Lock it in. I'm with you on this one. Pittman went for 2 last week. Ballsy call there against the lane train. But I mean, you couldn't stop them all day on offense or on defense rather. Their offense was too much, so we went for it. I like it. Obviously, they didn't punch it in, so you hate to see it. But I think that they come back strong. The home crowd. Now, Arkansas has had a great year. I think that it's going to continue. And Auburn's offense is so hit or miss all year. Who knows? Bo picks and stuff like that. So lock in Arkansas 4.5. I think that I'm gonna say they blow them out a little bit. I think we're gonna have some fun in Fayetteville this weekend.
I hope so. It's homecoming.
That's why we're coming home.
We found that out today.
Bury me in Fayetteville.
I'm kind of just making these picks based off my gut feeling, given that I did not do as much research as I normally do, which is minimal to begin with. But I'm going to take Kentucky plus 21.5 at Georgia. I think Georgia's great. Don't get me wrong. But I think they're going to be able to keep this within this point framework here. Even if JT Daniels does come back, which as of right now it's unsure, he's going to be a little rusty. He's missed the last 2 games. With a healthy JT Daniels, Georgia is now my national championship favorite, but I got to see how he plays in this first game back.
Kentucky. You're taking Kentucky points.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take Georgia. Other side of it, 21.5. Give me Georgia. Kentucky's only had one away game so far this year. That was at South Carolina where they won 16-10. It's South Carolina. South Carolina's okay. They're not great, and Georgia's the number 1 team in the country. They're, trying to make a statement. They're trying to keep this train rolling. There's no need to slow down. Kentucky's undefeated, so I get that. I haven't shown much respect to Kentucky all season, and why would I start now? Wan'Dale Robinson, their leading receiver, has 37 catches. Josh Ali has an injured leg, number 2 receiver. Their next 2 receivers have 10 total catches, and their tight end has 6. So, if you shut down Robinson, I think that, they're obviously a run first team, but run first to open up the pass. It's going to be hard to run against that Georgia D. Georgia D's not giving up much. Obviously, Kentucky's undefeated, blah, 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 blah. They're a basketball school. Give me Georgia. A lot of points. I think the over-under was like 44 maybe. I don't remember off the top of my head. But like 44 points is the over-under and 21.5 point spread. That's just jacked up all sorts of ways.
Yeah, that's tough. Let's see here. Oklahoma State at Texas. I'm taking Texas minus 5.5. Would love to have the Fox on the field suit up, but he's unable to. Luckily, they have Bijan Robinson. He is one of my favorite players in college football after witnessing him in person. Also, during the game, Xavier Worthy had like an awesome game, their freshman receiver. Totally had put him out of my mind that he was at one time trying to come to Michigan.
Yeah.
Didn't go.
How'd that go?
Not great. I luckily during the game I had forgotten that fact, and then I looked him up after and remembered that. So that was tough.
I think Texas is going to win this game, but I'm staying away from it. Oklahoma State's undefeated. There's too much there. I don't know. I don't trust anybody. And I don't trust Oklahoma or TCU, but I do trust the over in this game, 65 points. Obviously, we were at the Oklahoma game last week. We just had the Oklahoma guys on. I didn't mention this to them, but I'm taking the over. Oklahoma has looked decent all year. They looked kind of great against Texas in the second half when Caleb Williams came in. We don't know who's starting necessarily. We would assume Caleb Williams. He's got the bigger, better arm. They're going to tear through that TCU defense. TCU hasn't, they've been putting up decent points all year. So I think that there's still too many question marks around Oklahoma for me. We'll see if that was just a second half DJ Uyunglele against Notre Dame last year, where he just balled out for one game and maybe it dies. I doubt it. But that being said, over 65, Oklahoma's going to get their points. TCU been putting up points all year. Over 65, lock it in.
Like that pick. My next one, I got Purdue at Iowa. I'm taking the over at 42.5. Obviously, Iowa coming off that high of beating Penn State at home under the lights. Iowa has struggled with Purdue over recent years, even with having better talent, better system in my opinion. But I think this is going to be hitting that over.
You love a good over, Pat.
Yep.
I did it over. You did an over. Why don't I just do another over? Florida at LSU, over 58.5. Emory Jones looks like he, can move the ball with that Gator offense. The LSU defense has been trash all year. Coach O needs to figure his stuff out, or else he'll be out. They've been getting torched on defense, just absolutely torched. It's at LSU, so I think that there's some points there. We've seen Florida's offense, obviously run heavy. I don't know. I'm thinking 58.5. Give me the points. The trash lady's rolling up. I think they're moving on to the next one. Sorry about it. We'll be back.
We got a sign that says recording in progress, so we're good.
Please. But yeah, I can't trust Florida enough. It's a 10.5 point spread. I don't know if I can trust Florida enough. They might win by 30. They might win by less than that. So I'm taking the over. Florida at LSU, 58.5.
Good pick. Ole Miss at Tennessee. I'm taking the under at 82.5.
Yeah, that's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points. I understand that Ole Miss went off against Arkansas last week. I just don't think that they're going to hit that point total. That was more of a math selection than a team selection there. But if they hit the over, I'm going to feel stupid. But also, that's just a lot of points.
There's a lot of points. Over, under. Over 59.5. Texas A&M at Missouri this weekend. Texas A&M obviously coming off that big win at home against Alabama. Calzada balled out for them. I think they found something there. Missouri's run defense is absolutely atrocious. Texas A&M likes to run the ball, so they should be fine there. The Missouri run defense gave up 35 points to North Texas last week. And 62 points to Tennessee the week before that. That being said, they can score some points too. So that's why I'm going over 59.5. I know it's not as high as your 82.5.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure if A&M will have their hangover or anything like that after a big win. They've been all over this year. I tweeted in the second quarter or whatever, that Alabama game, A&M just confuses me. I don't know if they're good or if they're bad or what they are.
I have no idea what they are.
But I'm taking the over 59.5. So 3 overs for me this week. 3 out of 5. That's also a value pick. I will guarantee this is a separate pick. I won't put it in my Power 5, but I guarantee Ohio State wins this weekend. Actually, I guarantee Ohio State doesn't lose this weekend.
So they might tie.
Well, they're not playing. So it's their bye week.
Also, Michigan's bye week.
Delivered that horribly.
It worked, though.
I'm editing this, so maybe I'll cut it up.
Add in a laugh track right now.
No, that's too much work. It's too late. I got to pack my bag.
I know, me too.
All right, so that is our Locks of the Week. We did our Power 5 Locks of the Week interview with Jeremiah Hall and Brayden Willis, the podcast on the prairie. This is still eligible. We need to pack our bags. And
do our laundry, too. Before you can pack, you got to do the laundry.
Well, you need to do your laundry. I stay up on the laundry.
Yeah, no.
We've been home for 10 days.
Well, I don't think I unpacked from the Alabama trip.
I have nothing for you. I have nothing to add. I appreciate you. And follow along on social media this weekend. We will be popping off because that's what we do. Thanks for tuning in.
Woo, pig suey.
Run it one more time.
Woo, pig suey.
Hey, it's Jack. Appreciate you listening to today's podcast. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Make sure to follow us on social media @StillEligible. We'll see you next time.